What's up, people? TJ here, back again with another video. It is just after 7:30 in the morning here in cloudy Denver, Colorado. I said cloudy as I pointed the camera up to a bit blue sky. Anyways, we're heading to the park, which is about a 2-minute walk from my house, to do an upper body session. We've got protein shake, hand sanitizer, and a couple bands, and we're ready to go. I wanted to take you through the whole workout because I think it's a lot simpler than you think it would be in order to be productive, but it is incredibly productive. I've had good success with this so far, but it's just because it's simple doesn't mean there's not a lot of thought behind it. There is a lot of thought behind it. So I'll take you through the whole session and I'll explain each movement, why I'm doing it, and how I believe that you can incorporate this sort of thinking into programming for yourself. Hope you find it useful. Okay, and that is the session done. Got my mask on just in case there are any dog walkers that walk past as I go, but I'm going to put it in my pocket, I don't care. Not that I don't care, it's just that I'll put it on if they do come by. Anyway, so before I get into the details of the session, I do want to explain why I'm doing this. So I mentioned it a while back on the podcast that I will always have some sort of physique improvement goal, like a bodybuilding goal. I do always want to constantly keep chasing that because I do enjoy it. It's something that I identify with quite well. I think that it brings me fulfillment because I'm progressing myself, even if it's because progressing with jiu-jitsu is like getting bigger and stronger doesn't really serve me. Progressing as much as I can in jiu-jitsu would just be doing as much jiu-jitsu as I can. Now, obviously, aside from the fact that we can't train at the minute, the idea is that a lot of my weights work is still bodybuilding, hypertrophy focused. So I'll always be in a phase of either trying to clean up, lose some fat and get into nice lean physique shape, and then putting on a decent bit of muscle. And originally, before this whole lockdown thing started, I was gonna focus on adding as much mass to my legs as possible. But now, because this has happened, that's become a little bit more challenging. So I've switched to more of an arm and ab/core focus, because actually for jiu-jitsu, my core is relatively weak. It isn't great for what I'm trying to do, and I want to build up a real strong core. I think the couple years off of rugby has put that nail in there. But also my arms, because I've never spent too long a time really just focusing on trying to grow some big arms, and it's kind of a cool pursuit in itself. Just before this all started as well, I just got into a real good place with my body fat percentage. I'd got it under 10% according to a DEXA scan that I did, so I was pretty happy with that, and I don't want to cut anymore. I didn't want to do that, so I knew that I was coming into a phase where I wanted to actually try and gain some muscle mass. But because of where my physique is at, and because I've been training 10 plus years, trying to put on muscle mass in every single area doing only bodyweight stuff and bands and whatnot is unrealistic. Plus, the way I like to do it, once you've got past maybe even 4 years or so of training for hypertrophy, is to really, when you're putting on mass, when you're putting on size, is to focus on just 1 or 2 body parts and then have the rest on maintenance, so that you can dedicate a lot more of your recovery resources, a lot more of your training time towards growing those muscles, whilst dialing that volume back on the muscles that you're maintaining, because they need a fraction of the volume just to maintain rather than grow. So then you can really get a good bit of growth potential, and the idea is over the long term you'll cycle through different body parts. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's get into this specific session. Alright, so it's been a while since I've done one of these. Got into this workout, the beginning of the warm-up was essentially just walking to the park. I did go into a little brisk jog, and then I sort of threw my arms around, did a little bit of a light warm-up there. But then we're getting into the stuff here by doing some band extensions, trying to warm up the rotator cuff. I went through 2 rounds, so this whole warm up, I went through 2 rounds of everything. It took me around 10 minutes, and I really wanted to put an emphasis on the shoulder joint, because a lot of the stuff we're doing puts a little bit of pressure on there, and then also the elbows, because those are the 2 real prime movers to today's session, which is a complete upper body session. But as you can see, it's nothing overly dramatic. I do really enjoy this shoulder warm-up. It's my new favorite one. So as you can see, I get that band all the way over my head, put it around, trying to reach the top of my neck underneath. That's a big weakness for me. Then we kick this workout proper off with some straight leg raises, hanging straight leg raises. This is about one of the toughest core movements that you can do if you can really try and keep your legs straight. I'm not great at it, as you can see, which is why that's why I'm doing it first in the workout. A lot of the times with core work, I've been guilty of leaving it till the end, kind of get sacked off. I'm also fatigued by that point, and mentally fatigued as well. So I really want to give this a good focus, because I really want to get some good ab development. I think that in itself will lead to a lot, not just a stronger, powerful core, but if you just build a better ab base, it's going to allow you to be able to replicate or be able to utilize that in a lot of other areas. It's almost like if you've got a really strong bench press, you're going to probably end up being good at push-ups, being good at like chaos bar presses, that sort of thing. It's, if you develop a real strong base first, then you can get better from there. Very much a strength first approach. It's like you wouldn't just go and try and develop your chest by doing nothing other than ring press ups. You'd want to get a good bench press first. If you did nothing other than ring push ups, your bench press would probably start out and be weak for a long time. Then we moved on to the dips. I actually hit this movement twice a week, once a week weighted, once a week unweighted. This one is unweighted clearly, and with a terrible camera angle, so we'll change that. And the rep range here is anywhere in a hypertrophy range, so anywhere up to 30 reps. If I get above 30 reps, then I'll make sure that I'll add weight to every single movement. But really the battle here is trying to keep good form, trying to keep a nice slow controlled tempo on the way down, and trying to keep my body upright, and then really making sure that I get all the way through to lockout, because full range of motion doesn't just mean doing the bottom bit and going as low as you can, but it also means making sure you get all the way to the top so that you can get full stimulus. I'm also making it a point here with these dips to rest as little as I can. So as soon as the triceps are ready to go ahead and get another set of like say 10, I'm straight back going to do these again, and then even finish that off with an extra set, a few sets of myo reps. I kind of get distracted. If you didn't see there, the guy in the background is like chasing after his dog, who's chasing after another dog. Really sort of distracting for someone who's ADD as me, but it doesn't matter. We try and rest like 5 to 10 seconds at most with these last 3 sets, getting through some myo reps to finish this workout. Then we moved on to the second tricep movement and last tricep movement. We're not doing any more than 2 moves for each body part. Second tricep movement is just band push downs. I've got the bands crossed because it gives a lot more of a natural range of motion as the elbows come across the body. If you do it yourself now, if you just pick your elbows up, then you're going to have to out-turn your shoulders to get them straight up to touch your shoulders. They're more naturally going to come across the body. Give it a try when you're in the gym. It feels really nice, and all I'm doing here is a couple sets of 12 to 15, really just trying to get some blood flow into the triceps to finish this tricep session. Probably actually a good time to mention that this is my last session of the week. It's my 6th of 6 sessions, and it's all upper body, but with an emphasis on those arms as the body part. So we're doing movements here that are targeting. So obviously the dips is hitting the chest, but it's also targeting the triceps, and then we've got these bodyweight rows here that, because my palms are facing towards my face, that's going to put a lot more emphasis on the biceps, but I'm still going to get a decent back stimulus, at least enough to keep maintenance, but I'm not going to really overly stimulate it, and I'm also going to really try and challenge the biceps as movement. Really nice movement, like it hits enough volume or enough tension to really challenge the back and make sure that I don't lose any size there, but again, it's really hitting the biceps quite nice. And I use a gauge here where I'm trying to get my sternum to touch the bar above me to really make sure that I'm getting a full range of motion. When my chest doesn't hit that bar anymore, that's when I stop the set. That's a really good way to make sure that I'm keeping myself honest. Again, the same idea here where I'm not resting too much. I'm really trying to tax the biceps and really trying to make sure that I get a good pump throughout the session. I'm not really focused on building strength here, because it's just the arms, you know. And if you do strength work on your arms, there's a good chance you're going to hurt yourself. Then I finish the bicep off similar to the way I did the triceps, with just some Bayesian style band curls. Again, just trying to get a big bit of blood flow through the arms to finish the session, or to finish this body part. And this is a real nice way of doing it. I really do feel like you get a good stretch at the bottom, and as you can see, I've kind of rigged it so that there is constant tension throughout, but then there's also increasing tension as I get to the top. Really good way to hit the biceps quite hard and make sure that, you know, even though I'm only doing band work, I'm still getting a good bit of stimulus. And because I've done the other bodyweight work beforehand, you know, it doesn't need too much. All I'm trying to do is get some blood flow. And then that blood flow just builds upon the mechanical work that we've already done either in this session and throughout the week as a generality, that then we can really make sure that we are getting a decent bit of hypertrophy. And again, like I've said before, we're trying to target the arms and the abs in this mesocycle. We finish off then finally with the core movement. This is a different one to probably what you've seen before, and I'm really trying to target the flexion of the abs. So I'm trying to extend out through like my mid spine and really just only contract the abs. And if you give this a go, if you're strong enough, you'll feel it. It really does require a little bit of a mind muscle connection, but you'll feel it start to cramp up for a while. It's a really good core movement as well. Even if you're not trying to do that flexion part, you can just try and hold yourself horizontal to the ground for, you know, anywhere between 5 to 20 seconds. But yeah, if you get that flexion in, then you're really going to hit the abs in a strong way. That brings us to the end of the session. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this style of video, let me know in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up, of course. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, because I will be putting out a lot of information for rugby players, for hypertrophy, for conditioning in general. And I'm growing the channel. I'm really trying to put some extra effort into making some quality videos for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.